Okay, let's try a little thought experiment. What if, right now, in a single instant, every machine on Earth just stopped? No cars, no lights, no phones, nothing, just silence. Today, we're going to explore that exact scenario and see what happens next.
So here's the setup for our whole journey: the instant, total disappearance of all technology. Now, this isn't some slow burn apocalypse. Nope. It's an abrupt, world-changing event that kicks off a whole cascade of consequences we're about to walk through together.
But before we jump into the timeline, we really need to get our bearings. To truly get why everything unravels so fast, we have to understand three huge ideas our modern world is built on. Think of this as your vocabulary for the apocalypse.
First up, systemic collapse. Look, the best way to picture our world is like a giant tangled web. The power grid, water systems, transport, they're all connected. So if one of them fails, it doesn't just stop there. Oh no, it yanks all the others down with it, like a massive, unstoppable row of dominoes.
Next, the supply chain. This is that invisible magic that gets food to your table and, well, everything to your local store. It's the whole trip from a farm to a factory, onto a truck, and into the fridge at the supermarket. Without machines for fuel and cooling, that whole chain just shatters. Instantly.
And finally, maybe the most important word of all, adaptability. This is our species' real superpower. It's not our phones or our cars, it's our basic ability to solve problems, use simple tools, and work together to survive. You're going to want to remember this one. It's the key to everything that happens later.
All right, we've got our key concepts. Let's dive into the timeline. What happens the very moment all the machines just vanish?
Just try to imagine it. 1 second, you're driving down a busy highway. The next, every car is just a dead piece of metal. The lights go out. The internet blinks out of existence. Every single plane, train, and ship just stops. The entire planet comes to a sudden, deafening standstill.
And right away, the situation becomes life or death. In hospitals, life support systems just switch off. Without power, entire cities are thrown into a deep, disorienting darkness, which leads to immediate panic and confusion. The very systems we rely on to keep us safe are just gone in a flash.
Okay, so let's see how that initial shockwave turns into something much worse. The problems don't just stop, they start to multiply, one feeding into the next.
In just 1 week, that broken supply chain we talked about becomes painfully real for everyone. With no trucks running, grocery store shelves are picked clean in days. And without refrigeration, all the fresh food left, it spoils. Food becomes the only thing anyone can think about.
And this is a perfect picture of that systemic collapse. It all starts with something simple. No machines means you can't pump fuel. That obviously stops all the trucks, which of course stops the food from getting to stores. But check out that last domino. That's the one most people forget. It also shuts down water treatment plants because they need electricity to run. All of a sudden, finding clean water is a massive, massive crisis.
After just 1 month, the modern city is basically uninhabitable. With no power, no running water, and no sewage systems, these places become incredibly dangerous and unhealthy. People who are able start leaving in droves, abandoning the concrete jungles to search for food and water.
And this is a huge shift in what it means to be human. Life isn't about data or meetings anymore. It's about pure physical labor. Survival means going back to the absolute basics, farming by hand, using simple tools, and remembering the old skills our ancestors knew.
But in the middle of all this chaos, something kind of amazing happens. With every single city light on Earth switched off, there's zero light pollution. For the first time in centuries, everyone on the planet would be able to look up and see the night sky in its true, breathtaking glory.
So, let's jump forward in time. The initial shock is over. The Great Panic has subsided. What does this new, quiet world actually look like years after the collapse?
This slide just nails it, doesn't it? Life as we knew it, global, digital, and super fast is gone. It's been replaced by a new reality that is, by necessity, local, physical, and slow. Your world shrinks down to your immediate community, and your worries are about today, not next quarter.
Now we have to talk about something tough. Without modern medicine and factory farming, the global population would drop, and drop significantly. But, and this is so important, it's not an extinction. Small, tough communities would absolutely survive, scattered all over, using their knowledge and basic tools. Humanity makes it. I know, this all sounds pretty bleak, right? It's so easy to look at this world and just think, is that it? Is this the end of the line for everything we've built? Is human progress over?
The answer to that is a hard no. And here's why. All the hardware might be gone, but the software, that survives. See, our most important technology isn't a machine. It's all the knowledge we've gathered, stored in books, and more importantly, in our own heads. The great database of civilization is still there. So, the real point of this whole story isn't about what we lost, it's about what's left. And what's left is our amazing, built-in ability to adapt, to learn, and to start again.
This timeline really wraps up the whole journey, doesn't it? We go from that instant shock on the first day, to the food shortages in the first week, the cities emptying out by the first month, and then finally, years later, things start to stabilize. A slow rebirth begins.
Because that knowledge we still have, it's a blueprint. We wouldn't be starting from scratch like cavemen. We know how a water wheel works, the basics of electricity, how to forge metal. We would have the instruction manual to slowly, generation by generation, rebuild it all. And that really brings us to the final big idea. Our modern way of life, well, it's incredibly fragile, totally dependent on machines. But humanity itself, we are profoundly resilient. Our survival has never really been about our gadgets. It's always been about our amazing ability to adapt. Notebook LM.